I should risk my own life to have a miscarriage, a non-viable pregnancy. Some of these laws, this is what I'm trying to protect. There are pregnancies that are not viable, and I don't want the laws to get into that. And bigger than that, my problem is we're overturning 3 decisions based on privacy, and I don't want my privacy taken away. I'm a constitutional conservative. Don't touch my guns. Don't tell me what I can do on my property. But that means don't tell me what I can do with my body. And that's just part of what comes with it, whether you like it or not. Just like with guns comes violence. Doesn't mean everybody who has a gun is violent, but it's a consequence of making them available out there. All right? And that's why I stand. It doesn't make me a murderer. It doesn't mean I hate babies. I love babies. But because of my experience, I can never be a baby nurse because I know what it's like to have a bad day in the labor and delivery room. And I want you to think about those people. How do you feel when the baby's not going to only live for more than a few hours, doesn't have a brain or functioning organs? You're going to force the mother to go through the dangers of childbirth alone in this country where we have the highest maternal mortality rate giving birth. We should have the best health care, not the worst. So how are you going to take away those women's rights to protect the unborn?
We're talking about a couple different things here. One, I have not seen any abortion ban that doesn't have an exception for medical emergencies.
Actually, ectopic pregnancies. There are laws right now.
Actually, I've not seen one law out there
Oklahoma.
that has any type of...
But who determines a medical emergency? Lawmakers or us healthcare professionals?
What about rape?
Is it going to be decided by a committee appointed by governors, people who are not healthcare professionals, people who can not educated or qualified to decide what is a medical emergency or a medical necessity? Insurance companies seems they can decide what's a medical necessity. They're not doctors.
Well, the issue we're talking about here, there are exceptions for medical emergencies in laws all across the United States. And so
you're not up to date.
They are out there. Bring it up on your phone
it.
and show me if there is one that you know
Let's
of.
keep it civil.
But ultimately, we're talking about human life here.
We are.
And you talked about it being your body, but there's another human being in there. It's not your body.
What about
it's
rape?
Other human being's body.
It is not yet a full.
It's not a human being.
It is not a full human being. It has no brain waves. It would be considered
Is
brain
a
dead
baby
medically.
a full human being?
Yes.
What is a human
Here's
being?
what I'm saying. If I am laying in an ICU bed and I have no brain waves, no brain activities, I'm considered dead. Babies don't have brain waves until 22 to 24 weeks. No brain waves. They are brain dead until 22 to 24 weeks. Did you know that?
Not true.
It is absolutely true.
Listen, I want to just talk about one thing.
This is a doctor.
I don't care. I'm not going to talk about science. I'm going to talk about one thing. If a man rapes a woman, why are you forcing her to carry that rapist's child? Which is what this law is doing. Why are they allowing a rapist? Why are they making sure that the woman is forced to give birth by declining her an abortion when she's been raped? Why?
We shouldn't penalize the innocent unborn
That is
child.
bullshit.
We should
I'll
penalize
tell
the
you
rapist.
why. I'll tell you why.
The
Because
unborn child should
you
not get a
worship
death penalty.
A man. You
The
worship a
unborn
male
child
god.
should not get a death penalty.
You
Let the
worship
rapist
men.
get the death penalty,
who
not the
doesn't?
unborn child.
Less than
You worship a man.
Yeah.
A lot of the people
8%
don't.
of rapists
I don't think God is a man.
This is a 12-week fetal model.
I don't think God is a
Medical
man.
grade.
I don't believe that God
Has
is a
eyes,
man.
mouth, nose. This is what a 12-week fetal model looks like.
You're just.
This is what a baby looks like at 12
gotta-
weeks.
you
And
gotta
it has
open your
no
heart,
brain
buddy.
functioning. It has electrical activity in the heart, causing it to conduct, but it has zero brain
It has
activity.
a heartbeat.
You are.
It does, which is an electrical
basically you're
impulse sent through that is triggered within the heart without the brain.
Like,
The whole
you
world-
can
the
go
whole
to
world
Barnes &
can
Noble,
see-
Books A Million. You can go to the medical
it's
reference
not
aisle and
about
pull
that.
out
It's
any
not about that.
textbook.
It's about
and
saying
it'll
I
say
have a
that
degree
life,
in medicine. Do
and
you?
it'll say that life
You're
begins at
agreeing.
conception.
He doesn't believe. He doesn't care about the degrees.
Well, no,
Look
He
at-
thinks he's fine because a man can force his seed into a woman, and you're gonna stand by the man and say yes, make her have
Is
his
it not
child.
No,
trauma
I'm
for the
saying we
child?
should
Yes, that's
penalize the
exactly.
rapist.
You should then tell
Don't
them.
penalize the
you
unborn
should then-
child.
don't
And
tell
don't penalize
them-
the mother
You
having to
should
put
tell
up with that
them
for the
to
rest of
draw
their
the
life.
line. They have not drawn the line. They are saying, yes, we are giving rapists more right than the woman. Use her fucking body to get his fucking seed. That's what they're saying, and you're standing behind it. You are an extremist, and you are a male God worshiper, and shame on you. God is not a man.
I'm going to have a
God is not a man.
about this. When it comes to the rapist, do you know that there's less than 23 states that have laws on the books taking away parental rights for rapists? And that's if they're convicted.
No, it's 15. I looked it up this morning.
Lately, there are a few states that are saying they can do it by civil, like in civil court versus criminal court. You don't need to go beyond a reasonable doubt. You just
You don't have to have a conviction.
if you don't get a conviction against your rapist, which only 0.8% of reported rapes get a conviction,
According to the FBI.
those women have to have that children and share it with the rapist and his family and continue to be abused and tortured throughout their lives. And if you listen, if you talk to any of those women and follow any of those cases, you will see. So you're punishing the woman and the child for life.
And why?
The child will know it's a product of rape. What do you think that does to that child's mental health? I say even if a woman loves it.
I'll tell
what
you
y'all's
why you're a
message
man
does.
worshiper.
No. What y'all's
I'll tell you
message.
why
Can I
you're
talk
a
for a
man
second?
worshiper. No,
I've
you need
listened
to
to you
hear.
guys.
Oh,
Go
I've
ahead.
listened to you guys a lot. You are too cowardly to control another man. You are too damn cowardly because you worship the man. You are too cowardly to tell him, put a fucking condom on or I'll fucking find you. No, you're gonna tell the woman, don't you dare have an abortion. You don't have the guts to tell another man, watch it. Make a law about this. You can't just go around sleeping with women just because you have testosterone. You don't have the guts to say that to another man because you are a man worshiper. I am not. I do not worship a male
I've talked
God.
to many women who have been raped and they chose life, and they said when they hear about these messages
You haven't
about
heard them.
I'm trying to relate. I'm trying to be a voice for those women here.
You cannot be our saying, I'm
And
gonna argue
obviously,
with you,
you're
but
not
I'm not
wanting
gonna
to
say
hear
anything on the
my
line.
side on
He
that.
wants to be
A
voice
very
for
clear
a
line.
woman. It means he wants to be what he thinks the women should
Yes,
say. It's
I don't
not what
think-
the women say, because what the women are saying is something
Even right
different.
now, between the two of
I'm
you,
trying to
even
be a
right
voice
now,
for women who
even
aren't
right
able
now,
to.
between the two of you, look at who's talking and look at who's
We
quiet.
don't need you to stick up and speak for us.
No, you need to speak up. You cannot speak up because you're not in touch with yourself. Because you are a male God worshiper. How can you speak up when there's a man sitting next to you? Yeah, I do know you. Why is it okay? Why is it okay that rapists now have more rights to a woman? Why is it okay?
Are you in favor of
Why is
having
it okay?
male rapists get the death penalty?
Then
Absolutely.
say it's not
You
okay.
are? Is that a
Then
pro-life
hold on,
position?
hold on,
I think it's
hold
very
on,
pro-life.
Hold on, hold on,
I
hold
do.
on, hold on. She's gonna say it's not okay. She wants to say something.
Rapists? No, they don't have more rights than women.
Okay, then why are they telling women, even if you're raped, you're gonna be forced to have his baby? Why? Is that okay or not? I want to hear the woman's point of view. Forget about him. He's not going to be there when you face God. When you face God who is not a man, when you face God who is pure energy, the God that decided all life on this earth will come through a woman, he's not going to be there? No religion, nothing made on earth is going to be there. It's only going to be you. And not him, energy. Because if you worship a he, that is breaking separation of church and state. A lot of people do not worship a he. We don't worship Dick. We don't believe in the male power. We don't. And we think we have the womb and we have the right to decide. Every life on earth comes here through a woman. So going back, exactly. Would
Are you
you
going to
like
let the
to
woman
say?
speak, or are you going to talk over the woman?
No, she's going to talk over me, and that's why I didn't want to talk.
Okay, no.
I am normally quiet. Talk. Are you going to really listen?
Yeah, let's see what you're saying.
Women, this is why I don't do this, is because lives are precious. They are blessings. They should not suffer consequences of parents.
Of a rapist?
Parents or rapists.
Of a rapist?
It's not their fault. Is it? Is it the baby's fault?
But what if there's another power out there in the universe? What if there's a whole other consciousness out there in the universe?
When I go to heaven.
There's a whole other consciousness out there in the universe. And she is saying, I'm not going to bring a rapist child into this world, but you are forcing her to, because you're like, no, man, is God. He says, bring the rapist child into this world. But you want to deny the feminine consciousness. You're saying no,
Babies are precious.
lives are precious, okay. Okay, the female consciousness, God, she says, all life will be brought through a woman and the woman decides what comes through her. Okay. Okay. So she does not agree with it. Okay. So a rapist has more rights than a woman. But that's what you're saying. Yes, it is. Why? How? How can you argue that you're not saying that when that's what's already happening in Texas? It is already happening in Texas.
Did you refer yourself as a constitutional conservative who is pro-choice? Would you mind to my live audience explaining that position? Can you talk about
Okay, so I grew up in Texas and in Missouri, conservative states. I believe in a lot of my rights. I want to be able to buy guns. I don't think the government should be able to out-arm me. I do believe that men are created equal. When you look at some of those amendments in there, I believe in those. I don't want rights taken away. I don't want them telling me what to do on my property. I believe they should be minimalist. I believe the government should be here for infrastructure and regulation to protect its people. I don't think it needs to be in every area of my life. So that's what I mean by that. But I am a social liberal. When I got into healthcare and I started realizing the things that I see, I had a lot of understanding. And even before that, I understood because I was a hardworking woman who ended up homeless. And I worked my way up from being homeless to being a nurse. And I understand both sides a little better and how our society can hold people down and how hard it is to climb out of that hole. And if I didn't have the right people at the right time to give me that lending hand, I wouldn't have done it. So I believe in social protections. And I'm a Christian who believes Jesus taught me to take care of everybody, regardless of who they are, all of those things. So, but I also believe in separation of church and state, because that is the Constitution. And that's what I mean. I want to protect those rights and take them literally. When I start putting in my religion, my moral upbringing, I am no longer obeying the Constitution. I'm trying to push my beliefs on somebody else. So whether I support some of the liberal ideas or not, personally, I believe they have a right to them and to pursue their life as they choose.
your sign specifically is about protecting both abortion and
Yes.
the Second Amendment? Do you want to flesh that out, what you mean by that?
Well, like I said, I don't want them touching my guns any more than I want them touching my uterus. I have a right to own my guns, use my guns for however I see fit, except for harming other individuals, except for in self-defense. I have a right to use my uterus in whatever way I want.
Yeah! Thank you!